Today we're reviewing the Target exclusive WWE Elite Legends Series 26 figures of Kurt Angle, Godfather, Carlito, and Rosie. Now we've known about these figures for a while now, but they are tuning up at Target stores right now. And I love this line a lot because of a lot of different aspects, right? I love Legends figures because it's a lot of the times we get some talents, you know, from guys that I watched growing up, maybe even before I was growing up. It touches that nostalgic spot, right? It has great packaging. And the best thing about this line is it's always available, man. Even if you pre-order through Target and then they cancel your order for whatever reason. Walmart. Nobody's safe, but Walmart's definitely worse. Target does cancel their orders, I'm not gonna lie to you, but Walmart's a lot worse at it. But I love this line because it's so available, right? You can pretty much walk into any Target right now, not every single Target, but majority Targets, man, you're not missing out on these Legends figures. For the most part, a lot of them do shelf warm. A lot of them hit clearance. You can get them for $5, $6, $7. The Ultimates for the Legends is a little bit harder to find, but as far as the Elite set, man, I don't think there's been a Legends set in the last, I'd say ever since they changed the packaging to this packaging we see here, there hasn't really been a Legends set that's just been impossible to find. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me, maybe I'm tripping, and I'm not necessarily talking about the chase figures, but in terms of the standard 4 that you're looking for, you can pretty much find them across your Target stores across America. At least that's been my experience. Unlike the damn Monday Night Wars line that you have to have a goddamn genie and a magic lamp and a damn map with X's on it that you found in a damn pirate's treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean. You're not finding those Monday Night War sets, man. And even then, it's not guaranteed. But today we're diving into it, man, and I want to get through it. So first of all, we have Kurt Angle, Godfather, Carlito, and Rosie. I want to look at this figure here because this is one of the figures that I think I'm the most excited for, man. We have a wrestling machine, a peak, a beautiful wrestling angle here in a gear that I've been wanting for a very long time. And I know that we talk about the boots that I've been wanting from Mattel from the early 2000s, but you could also use this Kurt Angle for a lot of different eras, man. Mid-2000s, you could use it as a TNA angle. You could use it as World Heavyweight Champion angle. There's a lot of different things that you could use this figure for, but I'm excited here today, man, because we're going to take a look at it. But I do love this packaging as well. It's a great presentation. This is one of those figures I might even get mint on card. That's how damn much I love that figure, man. Kurt Angle, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But then we do have the Godfather here, which is the second Elite of the Godfather we've ever seen. You have the yellow pants in there. They are Muhammad Ali legs, which, you know, they're not the greatest there, but we do have some purple ombre going on there. He looks pretty clean there. You know, these last two in the set, you could probably argue, it's like, are they legends? You know, it's like Carlito, is he a legend? I saw some people saying that, but we have kind of a rookie year Carlito here, which is something I've wanted for a long time. They still didn't give me the boots I wanted for Carlito here, but still looking forward to Carlito a lot. And then we do have Rosie here, which getting his third Legends figure, if you count the, you know, the 3-minute warning version. Then we have this version to pair with a Hurricane, and then we do have a chase variant of this in the gray/white t-shirt with the orange and everything like that. That looks pretty good, but I have wanted a Rosie for a while as well in this exact look. So I think they're hitting all the hits. I think that this is a pretty solid wave, all things considered, and I'm very much looking forward to the next few Legend sets. I think there's a lot of great Legend sets coming soon, but what we're going to do is crack all these figures out of the packaging, go through them one by one, find out what they're all about, and see if indeed they are worth it, man. But happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, man. If you have a mother, I mean, I guess everybody has a mother, but wish all your moms out there happy Mother's Day, man. Send them some love, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and crack these guys out of the packaging and find out what Legend Series 26 is all about. So here we have Legend Series 26 out of the packaging, and at the end, we are going to rank these guys from my least favorite to my favorite, or the worst to the best, of course, as we always like to do here. But what we're going to do, man, is just go one by one, right? We're going to start with Kurt Angle, run all the way through Rosie here, and break it down one by one, breaking down the accessories, breaking down the figures themselves, rank this set, and see where WWE Elite Legend Series 26 does fall at the end of the day. But I think we have some potential here, man. I have a lot of excitement here for this wave, and we're going to find out what they're all about. But with that being said, man, let's dive into Kurt Angle's accessories and Kurt Angle and work our way through, all the way through this entire Legend set. So with Kurt Angle's accessories, he actually comes with the least amount in this entire wave, which is a little bit crazy, but I still think they could have included a big gold or something here, but we'll take what we can get. So he does come with one Olympic gold medal. He has the green going around the neckband right there, and then he does have this gold trim, which I do believe is an updated deal. We've seen the stars and stripes. We've seen the stripes, you know, the red, white, and blue. We've seen the blue and white with the stars and stripes a little bit there, and we've seen a green one before, but I think this is the first time we're seeing the gold ribbon edge right there, which looks really, really clean, but it looks really nice. I think they do a really good job here. It'd be cool if they could get some sort of sculpted detail in there, but it's not a big deal. I think it still works really good for his Olympic medals, and I like this a lot. And then outside of that, you just get a pair of mic holding or weapon wielding style hands, and then you do get his entrance hands or his finger pointing up hands, you know, when he comes out and he points to the sky, which I guess they could have included fists. They could have included maybe the Ricochet, Kawhi Leonard handshaking hands, but you know, it's not the worst. I think that the figure is fine, but lack of accessories is kind of eh. All right, man, getting into Kurt Angle, starting out with the head sculpt here, we do have a brand new sculpt. You get the bald Angle, you get the mouth guard head sculpt where he's pissed off, and I do like this. He's a bit angry, which I do like. I think the likeness is pretty good. I don't think it's absolutely perfect, and I think that it is good. I do like it a lot, all those different things, but I don't think it's perfect. I think that it could be improved. I would really like to see, like, this is why I think I want an Ultimate Edition of this exact look, or, you know, this kind of style Angle, because I want the laughing, you know, kind of like the laughing, like with the mouth slightly open, you know, like the GIF or the meme that we've seen before, where he's laughing and all those different things. I think you can get that in there, but still a damn good head sculpt. I like the likeness and everything going on. The same singlet torso we've come to know with Kurt Angle, which I like. I like that they have the bigger shoulders, the bigger arms. All of this looks great. You have the black singlet, gold trim, got the eagle there with the stars and stripes, and you do have the stars going around here, which is always brilliant. Same eagle design on the back of the singlet, which I like. Even has the shoulder tattoo, which is great. And just everything about this is just so great, man. I love this. And I know that it's kind of a, you know, it's kind of a repaint with, like, you know, some different tweaks here and there, but damn, is it good, man. This is so damn good. I love this. This is just amazing. I love everything about this, man. But going down, we do have the open knee pads with the stars, which I do like again, and then they do have the wrestling shoes or boots, whatever you want to say here, that we have seen before. We've seen this on, you know, other Kurt Angle figures and things like that, but they are in all black, which I do like. And this is old articulation, so you're not going to get the full ankle rocker there, but damn, I don't think it really matters. So looking at articulation, man, his head can't really do too much. You can look up a little. You get a little bit of head pivoting, though. And all this is standard, so you get the standard ab crunch back and forward. All of this is the same standard, full rotation, double jointed, wrist hinge and swivel here. You get waist swivel that feels good. He is on ball joint, so he kicks forward nice, double jointed knee, which is nice, and he has thigh cut that does cut right at the biker short, which is such a nice aesthetic because it hides it. But he can kick forward really good. Dude, this figure feels incredible in the hand. You even get the boot rotation or the shoe articulation. Again, you're not getting a great ankle rocker because it's the old articulation from Mattel, but holy smokes, man. When you talk about a figure that feels really good in hand, right here, man. This is, if you guys ever talk, if you come to my reviews and you see me talk about a figure feeling good in hand, or you talk about, you know, guys that I really like in terms of figures and how they feel and how I want my action figures to feel, this is exactly what I like to see. So if that's what the stamp of approval you've been waiting on, this is your sign. This is a beast. This is exactly what you want out of a wrestling action figure from Mattel. I wish every Elite felt like this in hand from Mattel. This is peak right here in every sense of the word. But let's get into some Kurt Angle figure comparisons. So I do believe this is every single Elite / Ultimate that we have seen of Kurt Angle so far. We do have the new Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition coming soon, but from left to right, we do have the ringside exclusive Shield Kurt Angle, which is an abomination. We have the Entrance Greats Elite. We have the Legend Series 24 Elite Kurt Angle. I think it was Legend Series 24, if I'm not mistaken. We have the Ultimate Edition Kurt Angle, the Epic Moments Milk-O-Mania 3-pack, the Elite 59, the Elite 66, and then we have the Network Spotlight Retirement Angle there. And this is what I was talking about. This is the exact figure, just with a new head sculpt, double jointed arms, and repainted. That's pretty much what this is. But of course, we love this much more because of the era, new head sculpt, etc. But damn, dude, I love this. God, this is, oh man. I'm such a big Kurt Angle guy, so I love seeing all these figures up next to each other. And I hope that we can get, like, I obviously want that new Angle, but the fact that we're going to have 10 Elite / Ultimates of Kurt Angle, and we still don't have the boots that I'm talking about, is insanity. That's insane. And we have the new Defining Moments coming soon, so that's a whole nother one that still doesn't have the boots. So we need those boots, man, but damn, this is so epic to see. I love this. This is an era of Angle that we've always skipped over, so I'm very happy that Mattel is finally getting this to us, and we do, of course, have that Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition coming later in this year, which is going to be insane as well. And now we're getting into the Godfather's accessories, and you can see here, much different than Kurt Angle. He actually comes with a decent amount here, and we're starting out first with his entrance vest here, which looks pretty good. I do like the ombre colors here. You have this white fading to purple, which looks clean. You have a bit of schmutz here, and it kind of looks like shish, which I'm kind of scared to touch. But he does have this airbrush design, man. I mean, dude, dude, in the 90s, early 2000s, the mid 2000s, airbrush designs, I know you still have airbrush, okay? Airbrush still exists, but man, dude, it used to run rampant. I mean, it was everywhere. Just airbrush everything. But you do have the GF there, has these little stars around it. You got the purple. And I'm sure he had something on the back that, I don't know what he had on the back, but I guarantee it was something that they couldn't put. Something about hose, something about cheeks, something about doing something, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it, but I do like the white and purple. It looks good, but that shish right there is a little bit, a little suspect down there. Now, he also comes with his feather and cap, which I do think is something we've seen before on his Elite 39 figure, which is pretty cool, and I think it was the exact same hat, the purple, the yellow. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it's the exact same hat, like even the colors. It may have been slightly different in some way, but I'm pretty sure it is. But one thing I found about this hat is it's kind of snug, you know? You got the head sculpt here, and it goes on pretty good, and I mean, it's on there, man, but I guess that's good. You want it to be snug and tight so it doesn't fall off, but there is your hat for your Godfather. And then you also have to include the gold shades, right? So he does have these nicely painted shades here. They're kind of molded in gold, and then you have the black shades in there, and they seem to fit pretty decently as well. You can slide these on, and he is looking like an absolute boss right here, man. So you can put those on there, and they hug pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect or anything, but they're not falling off, so that's a good thing. I do like the shades that come with this Godfather. I want to say last time they were red or something. I can't remember, man. Off the top of the dome, he may not have even come with sunglasses. That's how long it's been. I want to say I got this figure for Easter, like the original Godfather. I got that for Easter in like 2015 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. 10 years ago. Makes you want to vomit. And then we also have the Godfather chain that also came with that OG figure that looks good. You got the little thin rib going around. Got Godfather there in gold, which is nice. Very nice, man. You just plop it over the head sculpt. Very easy, hangs nice. It's all good and detailed. We've seen this before, and I think it's good reuse. And then we do have his cane or his entrance staff cane deal here that's painted gold or it's molded in gold, and it has a nice sculpt to it. I think we have also seen this before, but you do get some detailed, you know, kind of sculpt in the handle, which I think is cool. And it's very flat, you know, there's no paint detail, but I think it matches, you know, it matches the chain, it matches the sunglasses. It's gold, it's got high status. He looks like he's gonna, you know, smack some people with it. So we like this. I like the gold cane. It's a little warped out of the packaging, but nothing a little heat can't fix. And outside of that, you do get a pair of cane holding or weapon wielding, mic holding style hands. Unlike Kurt Angle, he does also come with a pair of fists to beat the hell out of people. And then he also comes with a pair of entrance style hands. You know, the wide open, you can't see me, stretched out high five style hands that we've seen for many, many years at this point. And now we're getting into Godfather, starting out the head sculpt, which I used to have the old Godfather, and I still do to a certain degree, which you'll see in a moment, but my original Godfather head sculpt, which is this exact same head sculpt, just slightly repainted. This one has more of a True Effects look instead of the painted Mattel version, which was still a good head sculpt back in the day. But I turned it into No Way Jose because I love No Way Jose, and I was like, oh, they'll never give us a No Way Jose. Legitimately, a week later, they revealed the NXT Elite No Way Jose. So that just shows you what you know, Brad. But I do like this head sculpt. I like the braids, and everything looks really, really good. I like the expression is nice and everything. He does have all of his tats, which look very good. I love this, man. Godfather, you know, he looks great, man. I love this, all the different iterations of the character. I always love this torso mold as well. I think it's the Sergeant Slaughter torso, if I'm not mistaken. But you have the singlet or the, you know, the black tank top here with all of the tattoo deco going all over, which looks really damn clean. For some reason, it's giving me WrestleMania 2000s vibes. I don't know, that's why it's just popping in my brain here. I don't think he wore this at WrestleMania 2000, but I guess anything's possible. I don't know. But all this looks damn good. I like the shoulders and arms and all the proportions. And then we do have the yellow pants, which look really good. It's just, they are the Muhammad Ali leg mold, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, the reason I know that is because of that. You can always tell by these knee pads, or the knee joints right here, man. They're always this new long, elongated thing, which we started seeing with the Muhammad Ali Ultimate back at San Diego Comic-Con, not of last year, of the year prior, and they're just very stiff. They're pinless, they're very stiff legs, and they're a good mold in certain ways, but they're never, ever articulate well. But the yellow pants are cool, and he does have black boots there. But we're about to showcase why the Muhammad Ali leg mold is so trash, but he can look down a little bit. He can look up pretty decent, actually, as far as an Elite is concerned. You get a little bit of head pivoting here, which is very good for Godfather. You like to see that. Ab crunch is kind of You can go back a little bit there. You get all this full rotation. It's very smooth, though. Bicep cut, double jointed arms, all the same wrist articulation we come to know. You do get waist swivel there, but this is where the Muhammad Ali legs burn in hell. They can go out right here, which I'm actually shocked that he's able to kick up at 90 right there, and he can kick out to the side. And this one is a little less than 90, as you can see there, but the biggest thing with these is not the thigh cut, it's the bending of the knee that always is so tight, and you can even hear it and I hate that. I think it's not buttery. It's the opposite of Kurt Angle. It's not operational. It's not buttery smooth, and he also has no ankle rocker whatsoever. These feet are very stiff. On the Muhammad Ali leg mold, they never stand up correctly, so that's another reason why I can't stand it. But I mean, aesthetically, it looks fine, but then when you go to move him or do anything, man, you're just going to get a lot of stiffness, and it's not user-friendly whatsoever. It's the exact opposite of the Kurt Angle figure, which again, if you're just going to have a vanilla pose like this, is fine, but damn, I want to move the figure, you know what I mean? But as far as your figure comparison here, the only comparison I can do here is going to be with Ho Ho Jose here, which is what I've made here. So this figure is way taller than this, and I'm pretty sure Godfather was a pretty tall guy and everything like that, but you can kind of see the differences here, getting bigger arms, bigger, you know, shoulders and everything here. It's got the single jointed, but I mean, these figures are essentially the same. I may have to make a new updated Ho Ho Jose, you know what I'm saying? But I just put the No Way Jose head sculpt on here because I did this because it was kind of a joke because, oh, I used the Godfather head to make No Way Jose, and then they ended up releasing a No Way Jose, so I'm like, you know what, put that No Way Jose head over here because I had a couple of them, and then you play around with that, and now this is what we have here. But I know these legs are kind of ugly because they have all of these lines and cuts, but yeah, upper thigh cut, a very buttery smooth figure. Like, you could get this guy in all kinds of poses, even if it's kind of ugly. I'm not going to say it's not aesthetically more pleasing on the other. And he does have like taller boot mold over here, which is probably another reason why he's too tall. These legs are much more giant. They use these on like Corporate Kane and all kinds of different figures. But these legs, I know they're hideous in some ways, but damn, they can articulate, man. So, I mean, that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, damn, this figure's so tall. Can't even get him on screen. Well, look at that right there. Ho Ho Jose. Get a grip. And now we're looking at Carlito's accessories, which again is way more than Kurt Angle, man. You get some decent quality right here. And I think one of the best accessories in the set is going to be the Hawaiian shirt. Now, I haven't gone back and looked and see if it was accurate or if the pattern looks good and all these things, but he does kind of have this floral pattern, this light blue with royal navy-ish, lightish blue going all the way through, which rhymed unintentional. But I also notice I have a little hole right here that's very annoying. I think that just came out of the packaging that way. I don't think I did that, so that's kind of annoying there. But it's not you can't see it all that well, but it does have a collar on there. It's not Velcro, so, you could probably put this on a Bray Wyatt or Razor Ramon. I was going to say Chris Jericho potentially, but I don't think so. I don't know if this would work. It doesn't have flames on it. It doesn't look like he, bought it from Walmart in 2002 or something, so probably wouldn't work, but nonetheless, it looks good, and I do like this a lot. You could, put this on a lot of different characters. I definitely plan on getting a couple more of this Carlito, because I want to play around with some different fix-ups and stuff, and so we'll see about that on surgery, but I love this cloth goods. It's very nice, and this makes the world go round. Never complain about cloth goods. Now, one thing that's really cool is he also comes with John Cena's pendant lock, because when he debuted in 2004, his first feud was with John Cena for the United States Championship, man. Came out, won the U.S. title. He had a bodyguard named Jesus who would run around. We'll never get him, but it'd be really cool if we ever got a Jesus figure somehow. We're not going to get him. We're not getting Jesus, but it was kind of like this. It wasn't shown on camera or anything, but they had this storyline where Jesus stabbed John Cena at a nightclub. So John Cena comes out with a rib wrap and they're fighting. And dude, John Cena came out and buried the dog shish out of this man and beat the hell out of everybody. And then when he won the championship back, I want to say in their rematch, he debuted the WWE United States Championship spinner, if my memory serves me correctly, in December 2004 right there. I think it was like Armageddon or something like that. And there may be a few details that are kind of running together, but I'm sorry for the lore, but it's still cool that they included this as kind of that, nod to that entire feud. But at the same time, would have been cool to include a U.S. Championship with the scratched WWE logo in this pack, but it is still cool to include John Cena's pendant lock. Now, he also comes with the Apple. Now, we've talked about this before. It did come with the Elite 113 Carlito. It is very cool. I like it. I wish that it could have been slightly different just because I feel like this Apple's, I think this Apple's too small. It's very tiny. You got to be careful with it. But at the same time, it'd be cool if this head sculpt that came on this Carlito, and maybe they'll put it in another line down the line, but I want either a spitting head sculpt of the Apple, a chewing head sculpt, and then an Apple with a bite taken out of it. That is the next step for our Carlito figures. But he also comes with this Apple holding hand, which I love. I love the sculpt of this hand. It's so natural, and you can plug the Apple in here. And be careful, man, because it doesn't always grip it the best, and it can fall out. So what I've done is kind of like pushed on it to make sure it can hold it. But I do love this accessory. I think this is so freaking awesome. This is all, just incredible. I love little stuff like this. But we need a bite taken out of it, Apple, and then a chewing up Apple head sculpt with maybe like a, like a bulge in the cheek, like he's chewing, and then a spitting head sculpt would be fantastic. But then he also comes with a pair of mic holding hands. The left hand does have the white hand tape, and then he comes comes with the Kawhi Leonard Ricochet entrance handshaking style hands. And now we're getting into Carlito, starting out with this babyface head sculpt right here, man, which we're going to get into a comparison here, but it does look like a young Carlito. I think that it's still a bit dark for Carlito, but at the same time it works. I like the hair sculpt and everything like that. It does look like babyface Carlito, not babyface in terms of, you know, good guy versus bad guy, but babyface in terms of him looking younger. But I like the hair sculpt and everything. I think all that looks really, really good there. And then we do have the Austin Theory / Tyler Bate torso, which is interesting. And this is a different torso than what they used on his Elite 113. You know, in the Elite 113, they used that Apollo Crews torso, which again, we'll get into the comparisons and talk about everything, but I don't mind this torso for him. I think you could have still used the Apollo Crews torso, to be honest, but this isn't bad. You have standard shoulders and arms here. You get the white wrist tape. You do have kind of those graphics here coming on the side, like with the C's or the moon style designs, which look okay. Nothing too crazy there. Would be cool to get, you know, a repaint of this figure and get some of those things we were talking about, like the spitting apple and stuff, maybe in like orange or yellow or something like that. But he was wearing a lot of purple around this time frame, but you do have the purple knee pads, black knee tape underneath, and he does have the white boots with the black outsoles, which I want to get his purple and white boots in here. Speaking of Kurt Angle's boots, that's another pair of boots I'd like to see, but this figure is not too bad. Now, as far as his articulation, he can look down pretty decent and look up okay. It's not the worst I've ever seen there, and you get a little bit of pivoting there, which is always nice to see from these Elites and Ultimates because you don't usually see that. But ab crunch is, you know, I think the ab crunch on all figures could be much better, but he can go back a little bit there. You get waist swivel. Again, all this is your standard bicep and arm rotation, double jointed, hinge and wrist swivel, of course. And then as far as kick forward, he can go about 90 here. He was a bit stiff out of the packaging. I did heat up the legs a little bit to help with that, so that may be something you want to do, but he can kick up there. You get thigh cut. You get a very tight pinless knee, which I don't like, and then you do get, you know, the boot swivel, and you do have the new boots here, so you get that good ankle rocker, but he's pretty stiff out of the packaging, which is something that's annoying, but I don't know. I mean, you know, you pose the guy around a little bit. I also find that his ab crunch forward is a little loose, but that could just be mine. That could not be all of them, but I don't know. It's not bad. Not a bad Carlito right here. I do enjoy it, and I'm glad that we have this figure, but let's get into some Carlito figure comparisons. So for your Carlito figure comparisons, we do have the Elite 113 on the left in white, and then we do have the Elite 113 Chase Fix up on the right, which kind of combined like an older era with a newer era. Put the Bray Wyatt shirt, put some white boots on there, switched out the hand tape hand, but you can see here, if you remove this, you can see kind of the differences between the two figures. So they have him with bigger shoulders, bigger arms, just overall bigger, because I mean, he's been lifting weights for years, right? I mean, at this point, I think this is like 20 years after the fact. So 20 years of hitting the gym and putting on muscle. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Your shoulders are going to be bigger. Your arms are going to be bigger. All those different things. Legs are bigger overall. So I think that this works. I think he still could have used this torso for him because I think he's always been kind of like more of a heftier guy than a leaner guy like you're seeing here. But at the same time, it's not the biggest deal. It is cool, though. I do like all these figures in their own way. And I love Carl. I've always liked Carlito. I mean, as a kid, I hated him. I was like, God, dude, just especially in 2004. I mean, that's like peak John Cena for me, right? I mean, I know that's not peak John Cena yet, but that is when, you know, I started to, and this is when I was a huge Cena fan, you know, coming up as a kid and watching this guy come out. I'm like, dude, who is this bum and all this stuff. So yeah, there's that. But you know what? Let's see what this looks like over here just to see, and then we will put the shirts on their OG figures just to kind of see as well. But if you want to put the, you know, the Bray Wyatt shirt over here, that's something you want to do. I think you could get away with that if you wanted to do that. That doesn't look half bad. And then, you know, we do have the light blue shirt, which I do like more. And I think the shirt would look really good on a Bray Wyatt, but you can put the light blue shirt onto the Chase right here, and then you could also put the shirt on the regular edition too if you wanted to do that for your Carlito. But look at that right there. That ain't half bad. Yeah, dude. I like this. You know, any cloth goods we can get, I'm all for that. But then I do want to put the shirts on the OG figures just so we can see, you know, what that looks like. So yeah, I mean, comparing all three, I like this, man. You know, again, I do, especially if they go down to clearance, I'm definitely going to pick up another Carlito just for the shirt and stuff. But yeah, not bad. And you could even, I mean, you may even be able to put a head swap on here and just see, you know, maybe you like this head sculpt better. Maybe you want to make like a 2006 version of Carlito instead of an 04 or like an 07 or something like that. And if you put that on there, head sits a bit high, to be honest with you. I don't know if I like it. It's not bad, I guess, but there's a, I don't know if you want to do that for whatever reason, or you know what, if you want to put the rookie year head sculpt over here. See, dude, yeah, dude, look at that. I think that looks better. Look at that torso. Look at that torso. That looks, why does that look better to me? I don't know, it kind of fits that look of Carlito, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on. And then one more comparison we got to get in here is the Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition John Cena from earlier in the year, before Carlito debuted. We have the Ultimate Edition here from WrestleMania 20, and then we do have kind of a fix-up here that we're actually going to be getting later this year in that Cena 3-pack, and I did put the scratch WWE United States Championship on there with the camo You Can't See Me shirt. And this exact look is from their feud from 2004, so that's pretty cool that we're kind of getting that. You can pair those together there and everything. This is a great fix-up. I love this, man. Really wish we were getting the molded armbands on that 3-pack Cena, but yeah, it's still cool to see these up next to each other and, you know, take some shots of it. And last but not least, we have Rosie's accessories, which, again, comes with more than Kurt Angle. You get a couple of head sculpts. You get some cloth goods. And because Rosie was a pretty large human being, we do have a pretty large shirt here, which is pretty cool. It's his jersey-style deal that just fits right into that early to mid-2000s look, man. I mean, this is great. You have the R on there and everything like that to go along with your Hurricane figure. You got the graphic on the back, and it is Velcro, which is interesting. It'd been cool if you could throw this over without Velcro, but not the biggest deal. I still like it a lot. Colors are nice. This is kind of when I think of Rosie, this is what I think of. I don't think of 3-Minute Warning. Like, I do think of 3-Minute Warning, but when I think of Rosie, the character, I think of, you know, Superhero in Training or Hurricane Rosie, which I do like. I think this is sweet. Got the orange trim. Very, very nice, and it is cloth goods. I mean, how could you ever hate this? This is fantastic. And then we also have a couple of interchangeable head sculpts, and both of them look really, really good, and I think that they do capture the character. I like the likeness and the kind of just lighthearted nature of it, right, with the smile and everything. The sculpt's nice. The mask sculpt is nice as well, and I think these are the exact same. Okay, so they are different. This is actually crazy. So if you put them up both next to each other, I think they could have easily just painted this purple and called it a day, but I like the attention to detail, man. They actually gave you a different mask sculpt. It's got the purple in there, doing his Donatello impression, right? And he does have all of the nice paint app. Dude, this is sweet, dude. They could have easily just repainted it and called it a day, but they actually gave you 2 interchangeable head sculpts with the accurate mask. I think that's insane, and the ponytail looks good. All this looks fantastic, dude. Greatness right here. Really good likeness. Really good capture of the character. And then for Rosie's interchangeable hands, we do get some orange taped hands here, so you get a pair of mic holding hands with the orange peg, and then you also get a pair of fisted hands with the orange peg to beat the hell out of supervillains. So getting into Rosie, man, starting out at the head sculpt, I did go ahead and take the shirt off. We'll put the shirt on in just a moment when we take a look at comparisons and stuff, just so you can see the full body, but I wanted you to see what the figure looks like without the shirt and stuff like that before we put it on there and get into that. But starting out the head sculpt again, I do like it. I put the standard red or purplish blue with the silver and orange is my go-to look here. And I think from the neck down, it's just a repaint of the previous Rosie we saw in the Legends line, but you do get the tribal tattoos and stuff like that going around, which is nice. And they even included, I feel like what's nice about the details here is I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they could have left off some of these tattoos and nobody really would have blinked an eye, but it's nice that they went the extra mile to put them on there. But you do have the orange hand tape and everything. We have kind of these like capri pants or jogger style pants here that have the, the long shorts, if you will. And we do have, the graphics going down there, and the orange and the blue, the silver and everything like that. And everything looks pretty damn clean. I like this, man. Everything right here is clean. You get a little blue there, but not the biggest deal. No sculpted on anything here, which is fine. Again, this is just a repaint. But one thing that's interesting is they use the Uso shoes here from Elite 114, which I think is so unique. I feel like you should have used the Elite 115 or Truth shoes. The ones we're seeing on the new Elite 118 John Cena, that style mold with the new ankle rocker articulation, which these aren't bad or anything. I mean, they're not the greatest, but instead of having the sock with the shoe combination, which I guess is possible, I feel like he wore high tops, which is a thing. So, I don't know. It's better than the old John Cena shoe mold, by God. But getting into Rosie, man, he can look down a decent amount, not up that much because of the ponytail. You get a little bit of head rocking right there, which is good. Ab crunch is you're not really getting a ton of ab crunch here. Again, standard full rotation, double jointed arms here, bicep swivel. All this feels pretty good for the most part. Waist feels solid. He can kick forward pretty good. He can kick forward pretty good over here. He can go out to the side too. And one thing I'm noticing, it's crazy how we have this like larger character, right? But he doesn't feel like he's gonna snap in half like the Godfather. He's very user-friendly as well. And even though he's pinless, his knees articulate pretty good. You can't get this like total knee bend. Like you can get like right at 90 just because this is so much plastic and stuff like that. So it's a little limited there, but you do get the thigh cut like we mentioned. You get the ankle cut ankles go down and up, and you do get toe pivot there, and it has ankle rocker. So you get a lot of foot articulation here. I just think that it's not that most accurate in terms of the actual shoes, because I'm pretty sure he wore high tops again, but not the biggest deal of all time, and you could switch that, which would not be the biggest deal either. But before we get into comparisons, I do want to put his jersey on, or his shirt, because I think this is what everybody remembers, right? So I wanted to put this on here. When you get into the zoomed in shot, if you're covering up the whole torso, I want you to be able to see what parts he comes with and, what it looks like underneath the torso. And then if it's meant to be wearing the shirt or whatever, we'll also do that when we get into comparisons. I just like to make sure that you get everything. But with the shirt on, like, damn, that's a good representation of Rosie, you know what I mean? But let's get into some figure comparisons here. And for our first comparison, we do have our heel Rosie versus our babyface Rosie kind of deal here. And damn, I don't miss this Cena shoe mold. This is the old Cena shoe mold that they used for years and years. And look, you can already see how he's trying to lean forward. But yeah, this is essentially a repaint with a head sculpt swap, which is fine. He did have cloth goods here, but I think they're good representations. And this is the last Legends Rosie we saw. I think it was 2 series ago, 3 series ago, something like that for the Legends line. I don't think it was right after, but I do notice that it seems like there's a theme where they put a character in the Legends line and then they put him in there a couple more times really quick like. So that's just, I don't know, we'll see how that all remains. But yeah, dude, I do not miss the shoe mold. Holy Christ. This isn't the shoes. I'm talking about the updated form of these, like the Elite 115 R-Truth and things like that. That's what I think they should have put over here, but I guess, the added articulation is bad. It's just, these Uso shoes, they're either the worst thing you've ever seen, or they can be really good, and there's no in-between, you know what I mean? They're either really stiff and can't pose and fall forward, or they're really nice and user-friendly, so it's, it's kind of one of those things, but this is a cool comparison, but I do want to get into some other comparisons. And then another comparison I wanted to do is the Elite 117 Roman Reigns, which I do like a lot because it's so cool. If you see these guys smiling, dude, like, they look so much, like, look at their likeness. Like, you can actually even see their likenesses between each other in figure form, which I think is really cool. So, and look at that, family above all on the hoodie. I think that's nice, man. What a nice little deal there. I don't know, it warms my heart. And then for one last comparison, we do have some Hurricane figure comparisons, and this does not even include the Elite 75 Chase Hurricane, but from left to right, you have the Elite 75 Hurricane, you have the Legends Hurricane figure, and then we do have the new Royal Rumble Elite that came out not too long ago. And I like the way these all look together. I think this looks great. You can kind of pick whichever one you want, if you don't have all 3 versions, but, pick your poison there, whichever, accurate version that you want to choose for Hurricane, you can do so there. But it is nice to see Rosie here to complete our superhero tandem. All right, man, it is time to rank this set from worst or my least favorite to best or my favorite figure here. Now, let's dive into it, man. I mean, I don't know, I feel like this set was kind of hard to rank in some aspects, and I'll get into that as we discuss the figures, of course, but as we discuss each figure, I'm going to have some photography flashing on screen so you guys can check that out if you want to. And I really enjoy the photography, man. Ever since adding that element to the videos, it adds a shish ton of edit time and how long it takes to actually do one of these review videos. So like it up if you will. I greatly appreciate it. Well, let's start off at the bottom of the ranking. And just because a figure comes in at the very bottom of the ranking doesn't mean that it's not good in any case whatsoever. And just because a figure comes in at number 1 doesn't mean that it's without any flaws whatsoever. But let's start off at the bottom of the ranking for me. And this was really, really tough. And again, I'll get into it because I feel like it's really close in a lot of ways until you get to the number 1. But at the bottom, I went with Godfather, and this really hurts because I think this figure is so damn aesthetically pleasing. Like, decked out in all the gear here, look at him, man. He looks amazing, and I really had a lot of fun, with the figure in certain ways. But damn, man, as soon as I go to pose the legs, I'm reminded how bummy those Muhammad Ali legs are, and it just takes me out of it. But if you just sit the figure here like this, love it. Like, 10 out of 10, fantastic. I know he's shorter, different things, but damn, I love the aesthetic of the figure. Like, just standing there like that, I literally love it. It's like, how is this at the bottom? But then when you pick it up to post, it's like, God, like, this is why. Like, completely takes me out of it. And I know some people don't care about that, but again, this is my ranking, so build a bridge. Coming in at the number 3 figure. Ooh, man, this is tough. This is tough for me. You know what, man? This is crazy. But I think I'm going to go with the Carlito figure. I like the Carlito. This is a look of Carlito I've wanted for a really long time. I don't know. I just feel like certain formula choices here, I think that it could be better in a lot of ways. I feel like he's a bit stiff, too, out of the packaging, which is annoying. And again, he's not that much higher than the Godfather in certain ways. And getting even into the number 2 figure, I don't think that is a big gap either. And I really do like this Carlito. He's a lot of fun to shoot. This is an era of Carlito I've been wanting for a long time. I mean, ruthless aggression Carlito. Like, this is exactly what I've been asking for years and years. Not only of Carlito, like Carlito was on my list for a long time, like that Shelton Benjamin figure was on my list for a long time. I don't know, it's not as user-friendly as that and everything like that. I just think there's some certain things there that could have taken this figure to the top, and I don't know, it's just not clicking for me. There's something off about it for whatever reason, but coming in at number 2, I did go with Superhero in Training. We do have Rosie. I just think that this is such a really good representation of the character. Like, seriously, like top to bottom, such a good representation of the character when you talk about likeness. And just when I think of Rosie, and then I picture, you know, I have the picture in my brain, and then I look at the figure, it's like, oh my God, it looks just like what I was imagining, right? So I think that goes a long way when it comes to figuring out these figures and things like that. I love the Rosie. Head sculpt's great. Cloth goods are great. Formula's great. Very posable for the most part, especially for a big guy. Really like it, man. And it feels a whole need in the collection. I love it. But at number 1, man, I mean, is there any damn doubt in your mind what could have came in at number 1? It is going to be the Kurt Angle figure. I mean, what the hell did you expect, man? This figure is a beast. I think representation and everything like that. Hold up, I gotta get something here to pose with it, because I know you're gonna see it in the photography, but you gotta get the big gold out here. And I know that this is the newly sculpted version, but I like the details of this one better. Even if it doesn't have a WWE logo on there, it's just too damn good not to, like, oh man, this is perfection. I love this Kurt Angle figure. And the thing is like, I was hyped about it coming in. Like, when they revealed this at Comic-Con last year, I remember them showing off the render of this figure last year. We finally have it in hand now, and it is, you know, it's one of those things where you could get it in hand and it completely flop. This is the opposite. I got it in hand, it's like, oh my God, it even poses well. It feels great in hand. This is exactly what you want out of a Kurt Angle, man. And this is exactly, like, oh my goodness gracious. This looks heavenly. I love this. I am very pleased with this overall. I think this looks just brilliant. I love this so much. So this is my number 1 figure. Definitely number 1 figure. I think this is going to be in some of the top elites of the year when the year is all said and done, at least for me. So we'll see how all of that unfolds as we go. And I don't know what day we're going to do so, but I think we're going to do my top 10 WWE Elites of 2025 so far. So we're going to get into that this week, so that should be fun. But nonetheless, man, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video of Legend Series 26. I'd love to know where you guys stand on all of this down in the comment section below. But I'm getting the hell out, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. Huge shout out to our Patreon members, of course. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support. I love you so very much. I appreciate you so very much, man. Cannot be overstated how much I appreciate you. But that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.